The FIFA World Cup in Qatar, which concluded at the back end of last year, changed the Arab world's perception of itself. Not my statement, but the findings of Sila. The first piece of research to be published by Sila. Sila, of course, come to market as a unique AI consumer intelligence platform that tells you what your target audience thinking, saying and doing. It's the brainchild of their CEO and co-founder, Paul Kelly, who's been kind enough to join us live in studio this morning. Morning to you, Paul.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you here live in studio. Congratulations on the... I say congratulations on the launch. As you just mentioned, this has been something of a passion project for you for quite some time. Give us a sort of potted history of where the inception of Cilla started.
Yeah, look, it's building technology is always it seems like an overnight thing, I think, to a lot of people, but it takes a good deal of time. And how it came about was that we were really frustrated with insights that we were getting from global platforms on Arabic language consumers, and how those technologies were actually translating the Arabic into English and then doing things like sentiment and emotion. Obviously, anybody who's used Google Translate and things like that sometimes knows it misses the mark. So we set about the not huge task of building this Arabic native platform ourselves across 20 dialects of Arabic. And what it does is it basically it uses a form of AI called natural language processing. And basically what that enables us to do is understand vast amounts of text and what people are thinking, feeling, saying about certain topics, and how they interact with those topics without the need to sort of ask them. So vast amounts of data, millions and millions of pieces of data, understand what they're saying and thinking and feeling natively in their language.
It's an extraordinary resource for companies to tap into. How does it... I mean, a lot of people go, oh yeah, hang on, but this is pollsters, this is market research, this has been going on for years and years and years. How does it differ?
Yeah, I think the main part is the scale. So traditional market research is often limited by the amount of people that can be interviewed, the amount of people that can be engaged at one time. So you're maybe talking hundreds, maybe thousands. For a really large study, you might get to maybe 10,000. Our technology enables us to go into the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, within days instead of months.
And in terms of turning around the results of said surveys, I'm assuming on a variety of different subjects, is that quicker as well?
Yeah, much quicker. Using technology enables us to sort of interrogate that data much, much quicker. I mean, it's not a person sitting there using Excel or something similar, just going through the numbers, writing formulas. The AI enables us to really look at all of that data across, again, millions and millions of pieces of information across hours, if not maybe days, if we're talking tens of millions. As opposed to weeks and months.
Do you have an ideal client? I mean, by that way, I'm talking of sort of certain industries, etc. Again, can it be utilised across industry? Across
industry. So it's really businesses, governments, brands that are interested in the 450 million Arabic speakers across the Arab world. So it's the fifth most spoken language on earth, but is often underserved with technology and these types of technology as well. So really anybody who's interested in Arabic-speaking consumers.
I'm just looking at the timing as well. I know that you've been working on this since 2018, but with all the chat about ChatGPT and AI at the moment, couldn't be better than go to market at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. I think the broader understanding's been helped immensely with all the news and people actually being able to see what artificial intelligence can do. And there's many different formats of AI, and I think this opens up that conversation and people's basic understanding. So, yeah, there's been a groundswell of change in understanding.
Let's get into this World Cup report. I'm fascinated to find out more of the insights as well. What did you find from your FIFA World Cup report?
Yeah, look, I think what really interested us in looking at this was the fact that I think a lot of the times when we talk about legacy, we look at economic legacy, impacts of brands and sponsorship, that type of thing around big sports events. But something that we sort of noticed through our monitoring of the conversation, again, we're talking a few million conversations, 500,000 people, was this sense of unity and pride, and something that perhaps decades of diplomacy hasn't necessarily been able to achieve in that 1 month. And we're not just talking about the performance of I guess the Arab world teams, which obviously we know very well, the Saudi-Argentina match, the performance of Morocco, Tunisia and et al. It was also this sense of pride in that we as in the Arab world was able to host the world's biggest event. It went really well. It was a sense of pride. All that noise that happened before the tournament actually galvanized the whole Arab world into sort of getting behind Qatar rather than the opposite, which was obviously what was the media coverage and things like that beforehand. Globally, had a different impact, I guess, on other people's perceptions.
That was really interesting to me as well, because we sort of went into this World Cup expecting it to fail, because we'd been led to believe that by international media reports, and as soon as something went wrong, oh, look, told you so, etc. But as your report finds, it was the Arab world sort of coming together going, no. And did that sort of build, that momentum build throughout?
Yes, yeah. So when we looked at, for instance, whenever, which might be a bit obvious in hindsight, but when an Arab world team played, there was more conversation, more positive conversation, more coming together, and this is across all dialects. So we track 20 plus dialects of Arabic, so it's usually a really great proxy for nationality, for example. We found that there was universal pride, universal excitement about not just the performance of the team, but how well the tournament was, how great it was that it was in our region, how easy it was to access, that there were very little barriers, that Qatar was welcoming, obviously, and that other hosts that have come before might not have been so welcoming. So there was this whole sort of connection of this is just something that we can be really proud of. And the great thing about the technology, with using the technology for something like this, is that we were able to sort of get that viewpoint across the whole Arab world, sort of from the Maghreb all the way through to the GCC.
And what's the take of that unity continuing? Will this sort of be a legacy build?
Yeah, so it's maintained. So that's the great thing. When we looked at youth, for example, people under the age of 30 actually were more hopeful of the future of their prospects, their economic prospects of jobs and things like that, just from that one event. And that's even in countries that we know that, have some difficulties in the Levant and places like that. There's this sense of optimism. That's not just pride and coming together. It's an actual sense of what could be in the future.
It's an amazing report. It's an amazing finding as well. Congratulations on the launch of the business of Cilla. Just if people want to read the report, where can they find it?
Get in touch with us through the website, which is Sila, Sala, insights.com.
That's the FIFA World Cup report, is that right?
So they just go to the contact page and someone will send you the report.
Paul, we've got to leave it there. We've got the news team waiting in the wings. Unless you want to do the news for us at the moment. Can you do the news? Can Cilla bring the news to us?
Probably could.
ChatGPT's doing everything. We'll turn to AI, shall we? We're not doing it out of a job. Promise you, Serena, OK? Paul Kelly is the CEO and the co-founder of Cilla. Thanks so much indeed for joining us.
Thanks for having me.